Welcome to the Key Player Diaries. I'm Mary Margaret Dell, and I'm so excited to be here today with my good friend Rhonda Crutcher.
Woo!
Yay! So, Rhonda, we have lots to talk about today.
Yes.
So, why don't we start with tell us a little bit about your story.
Well, my name is Rhonda Crutcher, and my story has many parts, so I probably won't tell it all right now. But to summarize, I am currently a high school English teacher. I've been doing that for about 5 years, but before that, I was a college professor. I've taught in universities both here in the States and overseas, in Belgium and in Kenya. We kind of moved around for a while, and then for the last 2 years we've been here in the Keys. Before that, we were 16 years in Oklahoma. I'm a musician, theater nerd, wife and mother of 4, and I am part of Key Players.
Yay!
Yay!
Wow, okay, so I just learned a lot about you.
We
That's
need to talk
really
more.
I know. So really exciting. Okay, so you've lived not just on one continent,
Yes,
which is I think very unique. So that's
on 3.
three continents.
I have 4 children, but the last one is adopted. So the 3 that I gave birth to, I actually gave birth to each of them on a different continent.
Oh my Lord.
One in North America, one in Europe, and one in Africa. And people think that's like cool. Which
That
it
is super cool.
It is cool.
That is.
Yeah.
I mean, not many people can say that.
Yeah, it's
so
true. Yeah,
that's
so I've had a
awesome.
fun life.
Well, it sounds like it. So, how did you get to the Keys? What actually brought you here from Oklahoma?
Yeah, we lived in Oklahoma for 16 years, and we loved it there. Raised our kids there for the most part. And then about 2 years ago, my husband and I were kind of looking for a change, both in venue, and he was looking for a change in job. And we'd always been interested in coming to Florida, but we didn't really know anybody here, didn't have any opportunities. An opportunity came up down here in the Keys for him to serve as a pastor of one of the churches here in the Keys. And so we decided that was a perfect change for us. So we packed up the 2 kids that were still at home and brought them down here with us. And yeah, so he's also a teacher during the day, and then he moonlights as a pastor.
Wow.
So I'm also a moonlighting pastor's wife too.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, y'all are busy.
Yes,
Sounds like.
but it's fun. We really like it here in the Keys.
Well, the Keys
Yeah.
obviously like you too.
Oh,
So,
thank
You're a
you.
great addition to the community.
Thank you. I love the weather. I have to say, I've always hated winter, and
Oh.
I'm so glad to be away from winter. I can't even tell you. So.
Seriously, the winter here is like magic.
I know,
It really is.
it's like spring everywhere else.
I know.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us how you got involved in the Key Players.
Okay, so when we were in Oklahoma, I've been involved in theater ever since high school, actually, but especially for the last 10 years or so, when my time in Oklahoma, I got really involved in community theater, and that city, Oklahoma City, where we lived, actually has a very thriving both professional and amateur theater scene. There's lots and lots of places for amateur actors and singers like me to do theater, and so I had done 15 or 20 shows probably over the 10 years that I was there. I loved it. That was my main hobby. It's a big part of who I was, being in theater. So when I knew that we were going to move to the Keys, that was actually one of my first questions, more than like, where are we going to live or what job am I going to have? I'm like, am I going to be able to be in community theater? Because that's a deal breaker for me. So I went online, I did some research, I saw that there was this group called Key Players, I found them on Facebook or something, and I thought, I wonder who these crazy people are. So I sent like a message on Facebook to the administrator. I didn't know who it was, and it turned out to be Craig, and he got back with me right away, because I had said, listen, we're moving there in a few weeks. Is it possible for me to audition for your shows or be involved or whatever? And he was like, oh, heck yeah. Like, he's like, come on. He's like, as soon as you get here, let me know and we'll get together and meet and talk about it. And I'm like, cool. So I did that. Like the first week I was in town, he and I met over ice cream. And he told me all about the group, and he was really super excited to find out that I was really into musicals and that I had musical background and experience, because he said we were trying to build up kind of more musicals in the group, and so from that point on, I was just accepted right away, which is one of the things I love about this group. And then I auditioned for the first show,
And what was that show?
That show was Sin, Sex, and the CIA, which is a farce. It was my first time.
This show?
That show! Yeah. It was my first time doing a farce. I've done a lot of comedy, but never specifically a farce, and it was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed doing that show.
So, who did you play in Sin, Sex, and the CIA?
I played Reverend Abernathy, which is a part written for a male, but as soon as I read it, I'm like, that part's for me. I can do that. So I remember asking Janelle, the director, at auditions, I'm like, can I audition for the Reverend? She's like, sure, why not? So I did it, and I actually, in some ways, think the role was funnier as a female than a male. Yeah, so that was who I played. She was a pious minister who was actually a secret drunk on the side. And so my favorite part of that show, besides slamming and opening doors and shutting them like you do in a farce so much, which is a lot of fun, my favorite part was that I got to play drunk, and I mentioned I'm a pastor's wife, so I'm a teetotaler and very, very rarely have sips of alcohol, and so I've never really been drunk, and I don't know much about alcohol, and so I remember the director, Janelle, having to go to me, no, more drunk, you're not drunk enough, and I'm like, I don't know what that looks like, and I think we finally got there, kind of, but that was...
did. I saw the show,
fun.
you did, yes.
Thank you. That was fun, though. She kept going, no, that's not drunk. Like, what's drunk look like? I don't know. So, yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that show a lot.
That's awesome. And
yes, that's it. That's what I'll do. I will go to Millicent and convince her this is wrong. I will take her hands in mine and have her repeat after me. I must resist the sins of the flesh. My carnal desires must be suppressed. The innocent physical contact experienced earlier this evening, no matter how pleasurable, must remain pure.
Well, Reverend, so you have the hots for little old Heather?
I'm sorry, what? I shall take a walk outside to commune with the Lord and clear my head before undertaking this task before me.
Look like you could use some help.
Oh, yes, thank you. That's something from.
Yes, we need that. Let me just,
Oh,
there we go.
oh, thank you. Thank you. No! Wait, no!
Well, pickleball Pecker, call me Peter. What have you got here?
Oh, the worst to your pecker if you don't get over here.
Oh, that's what you need down there, darling, is another hand.
Mr. Warren seems too busy with his comedic talents. Do you think you can let us? Of course, reference. There you go.
Well, it looks like you got your hands full.
so, any other roles and shows that you've done with Key Players?
Well, I've only done 2 shows with Key Players. That one, and then 9 to 5, which.
Oh, this one?
Wait, look, she just happens to have the program.
9 to 5, the musical.
9 to 5, the musical, which the lovely Mary Margaret was in as well. And so.
Where we met.
That's where we met. We did. And I played Roz, who is the Killjoy office manager in that show.
Scene stealer every time she was on stage. Every time.
Thank you. What I loved about that show is that the role of Roz gave me the chance to do a show-stopping solo, which is not something that a woman of my age and character type normally gets to do in a show. I normally play the grandmother or the mother or the maid in the background or the housekeeper or whatever, which are all great roles. I don't mind doing them, but you know, I don't normally get to sing the show-stopping number. That's usually something like the ingenue does or something. So I really, really enjoyed that opportunity. That was fun, getting to like swing my sweater around and, and stuff.
It was great.
Yeah,
It was great.
that was a very fun show. If I ever get my hands on you, I guarantee you'll be screaming my name. Heart to heart, eye to eye, lip to lip, hip to thigh, tip to toe, and I'll know what to do. I'll put on some music, take off my clothes, let down my hair, and I'll put on a show, and I'll hope somebody and I'll close my doors, my heart says I'm yours.
One of my favorite moments, I should say too, we are doing this in COVID times.
Yes.
We are emerging, hopefully, from COVID times. But one of my favorite moments in looking back at the show, like a couple of weeks after the show closed, because 9 to 5 closed right before the whole country closed because of the pandemic. A photo popped up, and it was a picture of you and John Rudolph.
Yeah.
On stage, and you had a roll of toilet paper in your hand, and it was a prop. And we went through lots of rolls of toilet paper as a prop for that show. And this was when the country was in the middle of a toilet paper shortage.
I remember that.
And I saw that photo and just died. I just died. I'm like, if we had only known.
We were using
only
toilet
known.
We were using it as notepaper. So
Yes.
yeah.
You know, the things you do, things you do for your art. So I know there's lots of great moments from 9 to 5, from Sin, Sex, and CIA. Do you have, in addition to Reverend Abernathy, do you have another favorite moment? Or something silly that happened backstage maybe?
Oh gosh, there's always something silly happening. If you guys could see what goes on backstage, find a show if you've never seen it. It's hard for me to pick out one thing. I know one thing I enjoyed about Sin, Sex, and the CIA was just watching Russell Holmes, who is just a consummate physical comedian. You ask him to trip over something or fall or jump or whatever, and he does it in the most hilarious way possible. And it was sometimes really hard not to laugh at him on stage when we were performing, because he would do something that was just so crazy. Sometimes I couldn't look at him. So that's the kind of things I like, because when he made us laugh in rehearsal, I love sitting in rehearsal and watching people do stuff and laugh, because I know when we do it on stage I'm not going to be able to laugh. There's that. The other thing I really like about doing the shows and the group in general is just the friendships I've made with you and many others. When I moved to the Keys, I knew no one here. We'd never been here before. I'd never seen the Keys until we moved here. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to get out and get involved in theater, is I knew that would get me into a community. But I didn't know how nice and welcoming everybody would be. Made good friends. In fact, the person who's now my best friend probably here in the Keys is someone I met through doing the shows. And so I really appreciate the community that we have. We all support each other and are good friends now.
I love that. I think that's so true for community theater, especially. It's all about the community. It's bringing people together, having fun, and entertaining the audience.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Emphasis on the community part. Yeah.
Love that.
Exactly.
So, do you have any advice for anybody who might be interested in getting involved with Key Players?
Do it. I mean, just don't be scared or afraid that, like, oh, I'm not good enough or they won't let me. Everybody's welcome, and we have people at all different skill levels and all different levels of experience, and that's fine. We welcome anybody. There's actually one of my favorite stories, now that I think about it, from 9 to 5 was during rehearsals. In the early days of rehearsals for 9 to 5, I think you were there, in the dance rehearsal we were having. We had somebody who, while we were rehearsing, stuck her head in the door, you remember, and was like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought these were auditions. I was told you guys were having musical auditions today. And we're like, well, no, those are already over. And she's like, oh, and we're like, But if you want to be in the show, come over here and learn the dance.
I remember
And she
this.
literally was in the show from that minute. I mean, she didn't have to, we were just like, you want to be in the show? Here you go. And she learned the dance and she was in the show and she was great. So, I mean, that's the kind of welcoming, open community this is. So don't be afraid. Whatever your talent level, whatever your experience level, just come and do it. And even if you just want to hang out with us, that's cool too.
I agree with you 100%,
Yeah.
and you don't even have to be on stage. There's
Right.
lots of different things you can do.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
work backstage, you can work front of house, you can help out with marketing and promotions.
All of that stuff is almost more important than what goes on stage.
It
to be
takes
honest.
a village.
Seriously.
Literally.
Yeah.
Costumes, all of it.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Okay, so one piece of advice that you would give anybody who's thinking about moving to the Keys or who is new to the Keys?
Well, leave all your sweaters and sweatshirts at home because you probably won't need them. I don't know. The Keys are, you've heard earlier that I've lived in different places around the world. I have to say the Keys is the most unique place I've lived, I think. It's just not, it's unlike anywhere else I've ever been. It's great, but one of the things I like about it is that it is pretty loose. I mean, everybody's accepting, just be who you are. It's not uptight, it's kind of laid back, and so, just kind of go with that, just enjoy it. I like that people just wear whatever they want. I often joke that around here you're dressed up if you're wearing a cover-up over your swimsuit. That's basically fancy dress around here. And I kind of love that because you can just be laid back and comfy and it's no big deal. So embrace the Keys life.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so true. It is.
What do you
it
think?
is a
Do you agree?
definite. Yeah.
You
It's
haven't been here that long either, I don't
No,
think.
no, 5 years. Yeah. It's a lifestyle here.
It is.
Is laid back.
It's a mindset.
and just enjoy. It's one of the most beautiful places in the world.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Enjoy. Okay, Rhonda, the last question.
Oh no, there's another one.
One last question.
Oh,
Share with us something amazing that has happened in your life.
Oh my gosh, only one?
Or
More.
I feel like I've had the most blessed and amazingly lucky life. As you heard, when I was younger, I got to move around to different parts of the world. And I married the most amazing man who's wonderful. I don't know why he loves me, but he does, and I'm so glad. And so I feel like that, and we've raised this great family. I just feel like all of that. I'm so blessed. I'm originally from a small town in Kansas. I was this small town girl who literally grew up dreaming about the big city. I remember in high school, this is true, I would go to the high school library during lunch because they had the New York Times there. And I didn't read the New York Times, I wanted to look at the theater section, the Broadway section, which I did. I didn't always know what I was looking at, but there was just something about feeling that connection with the big city and with the stage and all of that I really, really appealed to me. So I always had these dreams for bigger things, and I didn't really know what would come of them, but I've gotten this amazing life where I've gotten to travel the world and do lots of theater, meet amazing people, and that is continuing here in the Keys. I'm not done yet.
No.
No.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that is like so beautiful.
I feel really lucky. And I feel lucky to have turned up here with you wonderful people. Aw.
We are the lucky ones.
Aww.
We are the lucky ones, my friend. Well, listen, this has been so fun. Like I said,
I have a question.
Yes.
I know I'm not supposed to, but talk about next season.
Oh, okay.
What are we doing next season? What are we looking
is
at?
this official enough for me to say?
You go for it, girl.
Okay.
Well, that's what we're
Well,
looking
the
at.
plans.
I
So
think that's bang for a drum roll.
the plans for next season with the Keys, as they stand right now, are in the fall. We're going to do a farce called
Sandy Toes.
Thank you.
and
Sandy
Salty
Toes and
Kisses.
Salty Kisses. I forgot the name. Yeah, but it's a really funny farce. I've read it, really excited about it. So if you like to do comedy, come join us for those auditions, which will be
A couple of months at most.
in a couple of months
Yeah.
from now, sometime this summer.
August. Yeah,
We'll be announcing those.
July.
And then the plans for next spring, assuming everything works out, is to do a musical called The Great American Trailer Park Musical, which is hysterical and a lot of fun, some great music. I think we're going to really enjoy that. I think the audience will love it. So if you're interested in auditioning for either of those, keep an eye on our website, on our Facebook page, and everything. We'll announce when those auditions are coming up. But we're very excited about those.
Exciting.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can follow us on Facebook, Key Players, or you can check out our website at thekeyplayers.org and get information about auditions and all kinds of things, and take a look at other shows that we've done in the past.
Mhm.
And also sign up to get all of our newsletters. You can do that on our website. Thank you so much, Rhonda. This
You're
has
welcome.
been a lot
Thank
of
you very
fun.
much.
And thank you, our inaugural Key Players
I haven't
Diary
seen you in
COVID
person.
times.
I haven't seen you in person in so long.
I
It's
know.
like,
We've been living that Zoom life.
I know. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
the
thank you
Zoom.
guys.
Yay!
Bye. Oh, Mr. Hart, if you only knew. Perhaps I don't look like some red-hot mama, but believe me, that's just what I am. Inside there's a fire mixed with passion and drama, feelings backed up like a dam. And if I ever turn loose, I'll tell you the truth. Dear heart, you won't be quite the same. But if I ever get my hands on you, I guarantee you'll be screaming my name. Heart to heart, eye to eye, lip to lip, hip to thigh, tip to toe, and I'll know what to do. I'll put on some music, take off my clothes, let down my hair, and I'll put on a show, and I'll open some fun, and I'll close my doors, through my heart says I'm yours, and I'll use my love as my magic wand on the women who clutter your world. And I'll zap them aside, 'cause I truly despise how they treat you. I am your girl. They just don't understand what a wonderful man I've come to know you to be. And I've got a feeling that deep down inside, you might just feel the same about me. Heart to heart, here we are, I can tell by the stars in my eyes. I'm in sheer paradise. I'm in love, I'm in heat, I'm not feeling the street. No, it's not ladylike, but I won't miss a beat till you're under my spell and surrender to me. Heart to heart, you are my destiny. I'll be there. Let me tell you something else. I will always be your girl. You know I'll always care. Heart to heart, you and I, just like I fantasize, like the lovers in books and on screen. You're my magic prince, come to sweep me away and into the sunset to love me always. And you're my Romeo, and I'm your Juliet. Come hither to my waiting breast. Here I am, lay me down, and let's go a few rounds. Suddenly